My name is Delaney Carter. I'm 32, and on Christmas Eve, my entire family decided to kick me out of the house we all grew up in right in the middle of dinner, with 35 relatives watching and two off duty cops waiting by the front door. I was sitting at the far end of the table, like always, the same folding chair I've dragged in every year since I was 14. My older sister stood up, champagne flute in one hand, stack of papers in the other, smiling like she'd rehearsed this moment for months. Before we opened presents, she announced, voice loud enough for the neighbors to hear, "We're settling something once and for all. Delaney is officially cut out of Mom and Dad's estate. $0, zero property effective tonight. Security will walk her to her car after dessert, so there's no drama." A few cousins actually clapped. My brother smirked and raised his glass. Someone muttered, finally under their breath. Every pair of eyes turned to me, waiting for the breakdown they'd been betting on my whole life. I pushed my chair back, stood up slow, and looked straight at my sister. "That's adorable," I said, completely calm. "But let's talk about the $11 million you all seem to think still belongs to you. If your family ever tried to erase you in front of everyone, drop your story below and hit subscribe, because what happened next is why half those relatives still won't speak to each other." The words about the 11 million were still floating when I realized this didn't start that Christmas Eve. It started 3.5 years earlier, on a rainy March night in 2022. I was alone in my apartment when my phone rang at 1:30 in the morning. Colorado State Patrol. Head-on collision on Highway 24 outside Colorado Springs. My parents never made it off the mountain. My sister was in Los Angeles for some influencer retreat. My brother was blackout drunk at a buddy's place in Denver. I was the only one who picked up, so I was the only one who drove through the storm to the hospital, signed the paperwork, and told the nurse I didn't need to see them one last time. 48 hours later, the three of us sat in a law office downtown. My sister walked in wearing huge sunglasses, even though it was pouring outside, and my brother smelled like a distillery. The attorney slid a folder across the desk and got straight to the point. "Your parents create an investment account in 2008. $11 million. As of last month. The sole owner and beneficiary is Delaney Carter. No one else is listed, no contingencies, no overrides." My sister actually laughed out loud and told him he had the wrong family. He turned the documents around and let her read the signatures herself. She stopped laughing. My brother just stared at the floor. That same afternoon, I made the choice that set everything in motion. I didn't gloat, didn't rub it in their faces. I looked at both of them and said, "I'll keep the distributions coming exactly the way Mom and Dad always did. Same amounts, same schedule. Nothing changes for any of us." My sister gave me this fake little nod, like she was doing me a favor by accepting. My brother muttered he needed $5,000 that week for back rent. I transferred it before I left the building. For the next 42 months, I moved money every single month without missing once. They thought it was some automatic payout Mom and Dad had arranged years ago. They never checked, never asked, because the cash always landed on the first. I covered my sister's downtown loft, her shopping trips to New York, the deposit on the Range Rover she posted about nonstop. I paid my brother's bar tabs, the lawyer who kept him out of jail after his second DUI, and the failing gym he swore would turn around any day. Every transfer came from the account in my name only. My name never appeared on their statements. To them, I was still the quiet one who worked from home and drove a 5-year-old sedan while they flexed new toys every week. I stayed silent because I thought if the money kept flowing, the fighting would finally stop. I was dead wrong. Peace lasted exactly 26 months. It started with little jabs. My sister would text on the 28th, asking why the money hadn't hit yet, even though it always dropped on the 1st. Then the amounts crept higher. She'd call saying her brand needed an extra $15,000 for a photo shoot in Miami, or the building slapped her with some random fee. I sent it every time. By the beginning of this year, she was pulling close to $50,000 a month and acting like it was her birthright. She posted from Cabo with the caption, "Generational wealth hits different," while I sat in my home office approving the wire that paid for the private villa in the background. My brother was worse. He'd blow his share in 10 days, then start blowing up my phone. Hey, I'm short this month, just spot me 20 until the 1st. 20 turned into 40. 40 turned into him drunk dialing me at 2 in the morning, screaming that I was hogging what belonged to all three of us. I still wired it. Family parties turned into hunting season. Every barbecue, every birthday, somebody would corner me and ask when I was finally going to spread the love or crack jokes about how I still drove the same mid-size Honda while they pulled up in new luxury cars. I'd smile, say nothing, and Venmo another 10 grand later that night to keep everyone happy. Then last January, my sister showed up at my apartment with a bottle of expensive champagne and a thick envelope. She poured 2 glasses, handed me one, and slid the envelope across the counter. I hired a forensic accountant, she said, all casual. Turns out a lot more has been coming out of the account than what we're seeing every month. Looks like someone's been taking a little extra for herself. I left my glass untouched. There's no extra. She waved me off. Save the innocent act. We're bringing in our own lawyer next week. Either you bump the monthly to 100 grand, starting now, or we file to have you removed for breach of fiduciary duty. That was the first moment something inside me locked into place. 3 weeks later, my brother left a voicemail at 4 in the morning, slurring every word. You think you're smarter than us because you sit behind a screen all day. That money is ours too. Keep playing games and we'll bury you in court. I saved every text, every voicemail, every email demanding more. I forwarded the threats to the account attorney and asked him to draft removal defense paperwork just in case. He reminded me Colorado law makes it nearly impossible to remove a named beneficiary without hard proof of fraud, but I wanted everything ready. By fall, they were openly planning the Christmas announcement. My sister bragged to cousins that the family was finally correcting a mistake. My brother laughed about hiring off-duty cops in case I flipped out. They had no clue the only thing I'd been stealing was time. Christmas Eve morning. I drove to the old house in Colorado Springs before anyone else showed up. I parked my Honda 2 blocks away, carried in the same folding chair I always used, and set it at the end of the table like nothing was coming. My sister greeted me at the door with air kisses and a smirk. Try not to make things weird tonight, okay? My brother was already halfway through a 6-pack, slapped my back hard enough to sting, and laughed. Heard you're finally getting booted. Took long enough. I smiled, said nothing, and went to the kitchen to help plate the food. Dinner rolled along like every other year. Same forced small talk, same cousins asking about my job like it was a side hustle. Then dessert came out. My sister stood up again. Same champagne flute, same fake smile, but this time she held a leather folder. She raised her glass higher. One quick thing before gifts, she said. After almost a year of working with our own attorneys and accountants, we've corrected an error in Mom and Dad's estate planning. The court signed the order yesterday. Delaney is removed as beneficiary. The money now flows to the real family. She slid the stack of papers down the table toward me. You can read the details later, but the short version is, you're done. Security is outside if you feel like making this difficult. The room exploded. Cousins clapped like they'd won something. My brother shouted about damn time. A couple aunts nodded like justice had finally arrived. I picked up the papers, flipped to the signature page, and started laughing, quiet at first, then loud enough to kill every conversation. My sister's face twisted. What the hell is so funny? I reached under my chair for the laptop I'd placed there hours earlier. You petitioned the El Paso County Court to remove a beneficiary based on forged brokerage statements and a fake audit report. That's felony fraud in Colorado. I flipped the laptop around and hit play on the 85-inch TV mounted above the fireplace. My father's voice filled the room, recorded 2 weeks before the crash. We put everything in Delaney's name because she's the only one who never asked for a dime. If the other two ever try to take it, show them this. My mother added, calm and clear. We've given Grayson and Sloan more than enough over the years. The rest belongs to Delaney, period. I let it run another 20 seconds, then clicked to the next slide. bank and brokerage statements appeared 42 months of transfers straight from my account to theirs. $2,900,000 total, every single penny approved and sent by me. The dining room went dead silent. My sister lunged for the laptop. "Those are fake, you doctored everything." "Call the brokerage right now," I said, voice flat. "They're live records. I have the login." My brother shot up so fast his chair crashed backward. "You've been paying us with our own damn money this whole time." "No," I answered. "I've been paying you with my money while you built a court case to steal the rest." I clicked again. Emails from their attorney threatening litigation. F0229. I didn't step aside, followed by my reply, attaching the original account agreement that names me sole beneficiary, irrevocable. Then the final slide one line I added that morning. As of December 1st, all distributions are terminated permanently. I closed the laptop and looked around the table. Enjoy dinner. My money paid for every bite. I stood, tucked the computer under my arm, and started for the front door. My sister found her voice. "You can't just leave. This house is still ours." "Wrong again," I said without turning. "Title transferred to me in 2023. Property taxes, insurance, mortgage payoff, all of it came from the account. Guess who's been covering that too?" My brother charged after me, face purple. "You think you're untouchable now? You're nobody without that cash." I stopped in the hallway and faced him. "I've been somebody this whole time. You two became nobody with it. Uncle Marcus, the only relative who ever defended me, stepped between us. Both of you sit down and shut up. Let her speak." My sister wasn't finished. "Those recordings are edited. Mom and Dad would never say that." I pulled my phone out, opened voice memos, and hit play again louder. My mother's voice, tired but firm from the hospital bed. "If Grayson or Sloan ever try to take this from Delaney, you fight with everything we gave you. She earned it just by being decent." Half the room heard it clear. Two cousins pulled out their phones and started recording. My sister tried one last swing. "Fine, keep the account. We'll sue for undue influence. Mom was on pain meds." I smiled for the first time all night. "Go ahead. Discovery goes both ways. I have every text where you threatened to leak family secrets unless I doubled the payments. I have the forged audit you filed with the court last month. Submitting false documents to a judge is a Class 5 felony in Colorado. 3 to 6 years. Her face drained of color. My brother grabbed my arm fingers, digging in. "You wouldn't turn in your own blood." I looked down at his hand until he let go. I already did. I opened the front door and spoke loud enough for everyone still inside to hear. "As sole beneficiary, I have a legal duty to protect the assets from fraud. Effective tonight, I instructed the brokerage to freeze all outgoing transfers pending a full forensic audit. That includes the house account. Utilities shut off in 15 days unless someone else starts paying." My sister screamed something ugly. My brother punched the wall hard enough to crack the drywall. Uncle Marcus told them both to sit before they made it worse. I walked to my car, tossed the laptop on the passenger seat, and sent one group text to every relative in that room. Statements, recordings, and court filings attached. Share them with whoever you want. I'm done pretending. By the time I hit the highway, my phone was exploding. Cousins apologizing. Aunts asking how to help. My sister left 11 voicemails in a row, each more desperate and vicious than the last. I didn't listen to a single one. 3 hours later, the account attorney called to confirm the freeze was locked in and the forensic audit had already begun. He told me the brokerage flagged over $600,000 in questionable transfers in the last 18 months alone. I pulled into a gas station off I-25, deleted my sister and brother from my contacts, and blocked every number they'd ever used. I slept through the night for the first time in years. By New Year's Day, the fallout hit hard and fast. My sister's downtown loft went into foreclosure the second week of January. The bank refused to negotiate once they learned the account had been her only income for 3 years. The Range Rover got repossessed while she was filming a Get Ready With Me video. The tow truck showed up live on her story. She tried the tearful apology route online, claiming she'd been misled by bad legal advice, but someone leaked the full brokerage statements to a local Facebook group. Brands dropped her within hours. Her followers crashed from 500,000 to under 30,000 in a week. My brother lost the lease on his gym in February. Without the monthly wires, he couldn't cover even the light bill. He tried bouncing checks to suppliers, then stopped answering the door when collectors showed up. Last I heard, he was sleeping on a friend's couch in Denver, picking up day labor for cash. Their lawsuit against me got thrown out in March. The judge called the forged documents a deliberate attempt to perpetrate fraud on the court and ordered them to pay my legal fees, another $68,000 they didn't have. The district attorney opened a criminal file the same week. Uncle Marcus texted once to say most of the family finally understood why Mom and Dad made the choices they did. He told me my sister still cries every time someone mentions Christmas, and my brother hasn't come to a single family event since. I closed on a quiet townhouse up in Monument. Last spring, paid cash from the account, no mortgage, no drama. I kept my remote data job, started mentoring kids at a local nonprofit on weekends, and took up hiking before sunrise. A year later, the house on the hill in Colorado Springs is mine alone. I had the locks changed the week after Christmas, sold off the furniture my sister picked out, and turned the dining room into an office with mountain views. The $11 million is now closer to $9 million after taxes and legal fees, but it's still more than I'll ever need. My sister filed bankruptcy in April. The loft sold at auction for half what she owed. She moved back in with a college friend in Aurora and took a job selling skincare at a mall kiosk. Every time someone tags her in old photos from Cabo or Aspen, the comments remind her where the money really came from. My brother's gym got padlocked in May. Creditors took the equipment, and the landlord kept the deposit. He tried driving for rideshare, but 2 DUIs on his record killed that plan fast. Last month, he started working maintenance at a storage facility outside Denver. He still owes $68,000 in court-ordered fees and pays $25 a week when he remembers. The criminal case is moving slower than anyone expected. The DA charged them both with felony fraud and forgery last fall. Trial is set for next spring. Uncle Marcus says my sister spends her days refreshing the court docket, and my brother just drinks. Some cousins still reach out around holidays, sending awkward apology texts or asking if I'm doing okay with everything. I answer when I feel like it, which isn't often. I kept hiking, added trail running, and finally took the vacation I never could before, 2 weeks in Iceland paid for with my own paycheck, not the account. I still mentor kids on Saturdays, showing them how compound interest actually works and why nobody owes you anything just because you share DNA. The hardest truth I carry now is simple. People who love you for money stop loving you the second the money stops. Protecting yourself from that isn't revenge. It's basic math. I just ran the numbers sooner than they expected. If your family ever showed you exactly who they are, and you finally believe them, drop your story below. Hit subscribe for more real-life stories about cutting toxic people off and never looking back. Thanks for listening. See you in the next one.